Hi everyone, welcome to King's College video podcast 1, I think, because we have no idea what to name it yet. We're still do the naming ceremony, but before that we are going to start with the video podcast itself. So today with us we have one of our own, one of us. So I have known her personally. She's one of the sweetest person I know. One of our MBA entrepreneurship graduate from King's College recently, and our guest for today. She's also the founder of Alapino, one of the leading brands in Nepal you can find today. So let's welcome Yashaswi Surana.
Thank you so much, Poojan, for such a lovely introduction. Hi everybody, this is me, Yashaswi Surana. I'm the founder of Alapino and a recent graduate from King's College with an MBA in entrepreneurship.
Before anything else, हाम्रो entrepreneurship-तिर जाँदाखेरि or you running your own business, you being your own boss, let's talk about being an MBA graduate from King's Suruma. So how was the experience? MBA गर्दा you are also running your own business, you are going haywire everywhere, assignments or go pressure, बिहान 6:30 बजे college आउनुको pressure, त्यो निन्द्रैमा project work गर्नुको pressure. How was it all? How was your entire MBA experience?
MBA, I think, just like you mentioned, it was haywire. It was a roller coaster journey, I would say. Just like every roller coaster has, and suddenly you have your heights, you have your scary parts, you have your flat surface, and you're all full relaxed. I think King's ko journey with my professional work, it was more like, you know, someday you're all relaxed, you have no work really, there's nothing hectic to do, no projects to do at college, but there are days when you have a late nighter, you have projects, you have group works, you have meetings, all the deadlines come at once. So that was, I think, sometimes you have a balance like this, sometimes you have a balance like this, sometimes it's just balance. So it was a roller coaster journey overall.
Right. So MBA garnu सँगसँगै you were running your own business, you had your own thing going on in the background. So let's just walk through what is Alapino Suruma चाहिँ. Like, how did it start? Where did you get the idea? What is it?
Okay. Talking about when did it start, let's go back probably 3 years back, okay, since I just completed 3 years. I had just completed my bachelor's. I had come back after completing my bachelor's, and you know, we have to shop. It was summertime, so I went out shopping, I looked around, and then I was also exploring some Instagram pages. And I found a really pretty skirt online, and at that moment, I think back 3 years ago, we had this big e-commerce sites that our Instagram pages were just booming. Okay? They were not. Today, everybody is doing Instagram, promotion and Facebook shopping and everything. So I think back 3 years ago, not many pages were doing that. So I was like, let's order one. It was a beautiful skirt in the photo, and I ordered it. It got delivered to me. I received the package. When I saw it, it was horrible. I cannot explain how horrible it was. It was like a plastic, a skirt which wouldn't fit me because it was this small, which looked according to my size. So I was like, okay, no problem. They had their exchange policy and fine. I'm like, fine, I'll exchange it. So I messaged the company, and then they were like, they did not reply me for long days. Okay, I think it's been a week or 10 days. They never replied me. So I kept on waiting. I messaged them, and then after a few days, they replied me saying that we're so sorry, ma'am, our exchange period has expired. It was only 3 days. I was like, I've been messaging you since the day I got it, and you're not replying me, and then now you say the exchange period had just gone. That was the worst experience. First time I shopped online in Nepal, worst experience. That was when I had the idea that, you know, I wanted to run a business. I wanted to be in the fashion industry. It was my interest. But that was when I decided, no, I'm not going offline, I'm going to go e-commerce because there is something lacking. The customer service entirely is lacking. It was not one, it was not twice. I talked to my friends, family. It was numerous. So that was when the whole concept of e-commerce fashion brand started. And gradually, you know, while having table desk discussion, naam ke rakhne, what do we name the company, and it all happened. And that's how a fashion concept became Alapino.
Right, so naming ko kuramai gardakheri jalapeno, like what does it mean? Jalapeno bhanne bittiki I remember I think we can still find it अहिले पनि बजारमा. There's this red and white lollipop. Jalapeno bhanne bittiki त्यही दिमागमा आउँछ. So why did you name your business Jalapeno, or what does it mean?
So this is a funny story actually. What happened was, see, for a brand I wanted something that connected me as a person and connected Nepal, because it was a Nepali based brand, I know. So we were just having dinner one day and we thought, okay fine, what does Nepal ko famous case, or what is, what represents Nepal? So it was like mountain first, that comes to my mind. So I was like mountain ta rakhna milदैन नाम obviously, and then we thought of some words, some alpine came into our brains right now. So fine, alpine could be one. Then we discovered what is my personal favorite. We were having pizza in the dinner that day, and one of my favorite topping of pizza is jalapeno. So alpine plus jalapeno becomes Alapino, and that's how the whole name surgery happened, and it became Alapino. So it does not really have a pure meaning, but that's how the name came through.
I mean, if it's good for you, it's good for your business.
It has been blessed.
Yeah, exactly. So so your naming kuramai garda garda, you also mentioned the haywire e-commerce industry that we have in Nepal अहिले. And since your entire business is based majorly on Instagram, on your website, majorly based on e-commerce, internet may based. But what do you think your main problems or challenges that comes up, whether that's with your own raw materials like collect गर्ने होस् या delivery गर्ने होस्, customer end मा होस्, or even production end मा होस्, कस्तो खाले problem चाहिँ आउँछ त when your business is especially based on e-commerce?
I think the major difference does not come in production, because be it online, be it offline, production remains the same, right? The major difference that I have felt comes customer interaction ma and delivery ma and post sales ma, you end ko steps ma, because one, everybody has this concept, e-commerce ko image is destroyed in the brains, right? E-commerce ma kineko saman is not what you see in the pictures. You get one picture, the reality is different. It has been in the industry, we have suffered, everybody have suffered, right? So the first thing that you need to convince your customer that what you're seeing in our photos, you're gonna get the exact product. That is a major challenge, convincing the customer. So once they're convinced, then again they're like, okay fine, I'm convinced. What if I do not like the product? What if there's no, it's not my size? What if I don't like the material? Now return and exchange, that's another hassle, because you need to send your stuff, again you need to bring back your stuff. So managing the logistics itself is a challenge, because you need to make sure that you're reaching the same customer with the right product and it does not come back with a dissatisfaction. So this whole challenge comes in ki customer like also convince garne and making sure that the customer is satisfied with your product. So I think that's a whole challenge in e-commerce industry.
Right, so to credibility चाहिँ कसरी build गर्ने? Me as a customer, I don't know your business, I don't know who you are. I have completely no idea about you, anything about what you do. So, मैले as a customer, why should I go to you? What makes you credible enough for me to have the full faith कि मैले जुन dress देखिरहेछ, मैले जुन लुगा देखिरहेछ, when it gets delivered to me, I'm going to get the same thing.
This is a major concern of, I think, almost all my new customers say. So for this, what I have been trying to do, and it has worked a lot of times, it may not have worked also. What I have tried is, one, the way I'm talking to them, like the way Jalapeno interacts with the customer. So if there are 10 questions, I'm making sure I'm replying to all the questions very easily, whoever handling the Instagram page or any social media page. Second, sometimes the photos are professional photo shoots and the lighting makes it a difference. So what happens is customer asks for real photo. We send them video of the entire product. That way customer gets the idea, okay, this is what the product looks like, this is what the actual photo is. Third, we also provide them home trials. Just in case, fine, you're convinced with the photo, you're asking for a product. Third, get a home trial, try it at home, see what is the difference. If you like it, more than happy. If you do not like it, you're free to return. I think return policy in Jalapeno, that's the biggest factor that we have been trying to make sure that customer is happy. And for new customers, just like you mentioned, we keep this BTS and feedbacks. Like customer keep on messaging us, like the product was amazing, all the testimonials. So we keep the separate highlight section of the testimonials. So you can just go through. If you're satisfied, fine. If you're still not satisfied, try the product. If you do not like it, return it back to us. That's I've been following that.
Right. I think that does give a lot of credibility to have the reviews on whenever we're buying anything. If it's good and if it's someone suggests us, can say, this is good, go for it. I think the credibility factor after increases. And once you're a customer, कतिको satisfied हुन्छ the product सँग or the service सँग त्यसले पनि credibility चाहिँ एकदमै build गर्छ, right? Exactly, very true. हामीले since we're talking about credibility and also misunderstandings भन्ने कुराहरु कति धेरै भइरा हुन्छ. So as a business person, as a business professional, what do you think is one of the biggest misunderstanding that revolves around your professional world and as revolves around your entrepreneurship and revolves around having your own business?
In terms of fashion industry or in general?
In general.
Misunderstanding. I think so. There's this we have learned and we have studied in our education we've heard it from so many people, in order to become a successful entrepreneur, you need a great idea. Okay, you need to think outside the box. Eh? I personally, I kind of not really believe in that, because you might think out of the box and you have a great idea, perfect, you can go for it, you might be a successful entrepreneur, but that is not a guarantee, right? Sometimes even the greatest ideas have failed because they have not been executed properly. So what I really think is this misunderstanding is you really need a great idea to succeed. I don't believe that, because instead of a great idea, what we can work upon is how we are executing our idea. Like maybe the idea could be within the box, it could be something around us, existing problem, an existing brand, whatever, but you can make it better, be it through customer interaction, customer service, any value that you're providing with your idea. I think if you're working on that factor, on the execution factor, that is a complete understanding of how you can be successful, rather than thinking an amazing idea and then going haywire in the business and then you're like, no, I have an amazing idea, I can sell. I think that's a myth. That's not a guarantee.
True, very true. So for anyone who does not know, Yashaswi and I have been working together for quite a long time. Not just Kings May Sangai Padera Pani, or not just knowing her through Alipino, but we know each other through Unlearn Academy as well. So how do you think that equation comes into doing MBA, graduating, having your own business, and then side by side you're also giving workshops and you're also hanging with us Himalayan Javama almost every other week. So how does that equation work in this whole thing for you?
I think Unlearn Academy just had the right fit in the whole puzzle, because had I not been a part of Kings, I would have never met you people, I would never known what Unlearn Academy is. So I think MBA सँगसँगै त्यो Unlearn Academy पनि it got like a gift to me, and त्यो आफै balance आफै पाएँ के त्यसले, like I did not had to find the balance, and because I was personally interested, it was always fun being around you people with Unlearn Academy. And when you're interested in something, I think the balance just comes, like your priority just comes to it. So yeah, it's all about priorities and having fun and doing it along. So it just came naturally, just happened.
Right. So since we do so many workshops, especially on your communication ko channel, how well does communicating perfectly, or what is your entire take on communication as a business person and communication in a business towards your consumers or towards anyone you think, towards your team or people you're working with, people you're surrounding yourself with, networking garnako lagi what do you think the entire communication pattern comes into a business? How well does it work? How well should it work?
I think communication plays a major role, be it just talking to you, be it in a huge mass, or be it simply talking to a customer single-handedly. I think communication, having a good communication is important everywhere. I'm selling product A just saying some mix of Nepali and English with improper way of communication, I might not be that convincing. But if I am selling something, or if maybe I'm giving a workshop, if I am not able to communicate well, the people who are attending the workshop, the people who are buying the products, the people I'm talking to, that does not just happen in a proper manner. It's a two-way communication. So if I'm lacking on my end, the second person will never understand what I'm trying to convey.
Exactly.
So I think it just important in every sector that you're in. Very important.
Exactly. So communication ke kura garदाखेरि, what would you like to communicate to other people or bhakkare business start garirako, especially in the fashion industry, because ahileको context ma हेर्दाखेरि Kathmandu Valley bhari being a fashion entrepreneur, if you can even name it that way, is like a huge deal. It's everywhere, almost everyone is doing it. You cannot even gather enough information from त्यो पनि, and it's a very complicated situation going on, especially because अहिले भर्खरै bachelor join गरिरहेको पनि very young people are starting fashion as a business, as their choice of career. So what would you like to communicate to people who are just getting into this thing of being all cooped up and crazy?
That's interesting. I think I would like to say that don't go after everything. Fashion is huge and it has a lot of different divisions. If I had to go after everything, I would keep all the trending clothes, and fashion is a progressive industry. Every season there's a new trend coming up. So what I would say is don't go after everything, don't go after every trends, because you need to find your specific sector, okay? Or a niche you need to find. My niche is business casuals. So everybody who's coming to me will look for business casuals. Now if you're based on formals, you have your own niche. So who's ever starting in the fashion industry or be it any other industry, try to look for a specific market that you want to cater your products, find a specific customers in that particular niche. I think that way you can explore with time, but for starting you need to have your niche. That way you're dedicated to a certain level of products. I think that will be beneficial to people.
Exactly. So communicating things to youngsters ke kurama, if you could, I think everyone would wish to, but if you could go back in time and bhakkरै Alpino start गर्दाखेरि जुन level of understanding थियो अनि अहिले जुन level of understanding, so that's very different. So if you could go back to that time of when you were just starting Alpino, what advice would you give to you?
I think a very important advice would be know your financials. It's very important how you're distributing your funds. So let me share a very short story. When I started Alpino, it had for both men and women. So my funds were divided for both the collection. And I was not much aware of what the men's like, because obviously I'm a female, so I know what the female usually likes in the fashion trend. So I thought, okay, even the men collection will sell, but that did not happen. And that way, I think what I would like to say is first know your interest and start with something that you really have idea about, something that you have at least 10% idea about, so that you have a head start. Okay, I know this, whatever your interest is, whatever you already know about, maybe you can start with that. And with time, you can explore, but always make sure that your financials are in awareness of your mind, because your business may be going here by the number of sales, but the profit may be somewhere here, and that does not really be good for your business. So knowing the financials and starting with something that you already know, I think that would be a piece of advice, if the advice is there, but a piece of word that I want to convey to the other people.
Right. So I have been watching Shark Tank India quite binge watching, let me say. And there's this term that keeps on going around, women in business, and I don't think I have to explain it why I'm asking the question. But as a woman in business, what is the best part about being an entrepreneur or being in this particular sector? Because career choose there are so many things to do, but then you're here, you are a woman in business. What is the best part?
A woman in business, I think this term itself is empowering, yeah? Because had I not been in business, I might have not been sitting here and maybe sharing my piece of words to other people. So being here is itself empowering to me myself. It's more like I'm investing in me. At the same time, also being, be it 1%, at least I'm trying to empower somebody else. And I think that's the biggest advantage I can ever have in this field. That's a happiness for me.
Right, so business and happiness ke kura gardakheri, I think one of the most important part as a business person is to be happy with what you're giving, the value you're providing to your consumers. So yei value and value proposition ke kura gardakheri, what do you think is the best value Alipino gives to their consumers?
I think it's the service that we give, the customer service. Everything around Alipino is customer oriented, you know. You might not like the product, give it back to us. We will incur all the delivery charges, everything, you know. You just have to be satisfied. You know, 10 satisfied customers and you have one dissatisfied customer, that one dissatisfied is going to be really heavy on the 10. Because word of mouth, the review could be really bad. So we make sure that whatever happens around Alipino, it is customer centered. And I think that has been a blessing for us so far.
Right, I think that is such a great thing, because as a consumer, for the products that we get, जति पैसा spend गरेको छ त्यसको value to provide होस् न त, हैन? Even as a consumer, or even you as a business person, even if you buy something from someone else, you would want that. So that is exactly what you should be giving. So I think that pretty much sums up Ani for how long I have known you, for how much I know you as a person, as a professional. I think this entire thing just sums up everything, and I'm so glad you were the first person we decided to go with. So I think त्यति नै हो अहिलेको लागि. Anything you would like to share? Any last words, last messages for the podcast?
I think firstly, I'm so thankful for you having me here. I'm glad, you know, just being a part of Kings and having to be a part of the podcast itself is a great feeling. And last words could be, I think what I follow is, if you have a dream, you gotta not think about it or just daydream. You gotta stand up, you gotta work for it, and that is how you're gonna achieve it. You just can't lay out, just can't lay in your sofa and just dream about it all day. Wake up, start working for it now, and that's how maybe you can have the first start to your dream.
Yay. Okay, thank you so much. So this is pretty much it. This was the first installment of whatever we're trying to do here. We have no name, but we promise we'll be back with a name at least on the next video. And that is pretty much it. We will be linking Yashaswi and Alipino somewhere around in the screen. I have no idea. That's up to the editor, but yeah, that was pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time around with a proper name, at least. Thank you.